I want to talk about Cross Guilds because it is a fairly new organization, and yet it has a lot of influence in the One Piece verse, especially what we've learned with the new chapters of the manga. A lot of stuff has happened. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content like this, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's talk about Cross Guilds. Who are the members that consist of this organization? Those are Crocodile, Mihawk, and Buggy, who are considered to be the leaders, with Buggy being the Yonko, the head of everything. There's also people like Mr. 1, Mr. 3, Alvida, and some other characters that serve under Buggy who are there as well. They're not as popular or not as well known in the One Piece verse, but I still thought it was right to mention them. We were introduced to Cross Guilds in chapter 1056. There was a poster that had Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy, who was predicted as the leader, and we know that Buggy is not necessarily the one who came up with this, especially the Straw Hat Zoro and Luffy mentioned that Mihawk and Crocodile aren't the type of people to serve under someone, especially someone like Buggy. So him being the leader had to have been a mistake. And according to Gid, Cross Guilds, it's a company that puts bounties on the Navy. The Navy, they're the ones who have been doing all the chasing, and now they're the ones that are being chased. I think this is a really interesting concept, and I agree with Eustace Kid. In chapter 1058, we see how Cross Guilds is established. Mihawk and Crocodile, they are sitting down where they have Buggy by his head. He's battered and bruised. The idea of Cross Guilds, it came from Crocodile and Mihawk. They're trying to figure out how Buggy became the leader after they were the ones who put in all the work. And the answer is simple. Buggy, he is just the luckiest, unluckiest character in the series. Because somehow, someway, Buggy always ends up in situations where he gets praised where he shouldn't. I mean, there's input or down, there's him becoming a warlord, there's him becoming a Yonko, and I'll go in more details when I make a Buggy video. I plan on doing that video over the next few days. Mr. 3, there's Alvida, there's Kabaji. They've been with Buggy for a long time, and they know that he didn't come up with the Cross Guilds idea, or that he was the one who should have been the portrayed leader. And now I wonder why Mihawk and Crocodile would have had high bounties, and one of them even has a higher bounty than Buggy, and yet he's still the leader. I've never seen it where the subordinate has a higher bounty than the leader or the captain. We got a flashback dealing with Crocodile and Mihawk. Crocodile gives Mihawk some advice saying, hey, we should work together. With their combined value, their knowledge, their influence, the Navy has no choice but to take notice of them. And after the warlord system was abolished, the Marines were going after the Mihawk. Now, out of all the warlords, let's be honest, with Mihawk, sending anybody less than an admiral would be just plain disrespect. And even bringing an admiral, that might not even be enough, because Mihawk probably beats most of those admirals, so there's no guarantee that they'd win. Mihawk, he is someone who enjoys a peaceful life. He's very laid back, doesn't show emotions, so fighting these weak people is probably an inconvenience to him. Now, if he were fighting a strong swordsman, I think it would be different. He'd probably enjoy that fight. For example, people like Shanks, Manga Zoro, Vista, and Shuri. Now, I'm not saying they'd beat him, but he definitely probably welcomed that challenge. Now, this is why Cross Guilds was formed. It's more convenient, a way of life that he was living in the past. Crocodile, he came to Buggy's island. He needs money to start up Cross Guilds, and Buggy has that. And Buggy's like, oh shoot, well, I don't have the money for you, but I do have a lot of influence and I can work under you, so let me work off my debt. And because Buggy's such a smooth talker, Crocodile agreed. So this is how the three of them formed Cross Guilds. Now, how did Buggy get the face or be that guy on the flyer? It's simply because his subordinates admire him so much that they did that, nothing more. And Mihawk and Crocodile agreed that keeping Buggy as the leader would only benefit them, because They're the types that like to work behind the scenes, and if push comes to shove, Buggy's so weak that they could just kill him. Cross Guilds is such a dangerous and influential organization that as soon as it came about, the Navy HQ acknowledged it. Navy hunters have funded some criminal groups, and this is a major threat to the Navy, and this is why the three of them got new bounties. Crocodile is at a 1.965 billion bounty, Mihawk's at a 3.59 billion, and then Buggy's at 3.1 billion. In chapter 1082, a Navy Vice Admiral was the first person to become a victim of Cross Guilds, and that Vice Admiral was T-Bone. This is important because a Vice Admiral was the one to die. There's only a few people above Vice Admirals. There's the Admirals, the Fleet Admirals, the Elders, and if you want to count Emu, there's Emu as well, and I think there's one more rank above them. I don't remember. I think wherever Gong, I believe that's his name, whatever rank he holds is a really high position as well. But other than that, there's not really people under them. The ones under them, if a Vice Admiral was one to be defeated, the ones under him should be like, oh shoot, we could be killed as well. So there's also different bounty ranks, I guess you could say. There's crowns and stars. I'm not really sure how much crowns are worth, but stars are worth 100 million a piece. I know Kobe had 5 stars, so he was worth 500 million. Think the same bounty system that they had at Dressrosa. That's how Cross Guilds was implementing this. There is heavy civilian involvement. Now this could just have been me, but I never thought about civilians necessarily being involved. I always thought pirates and bounty hunters, because number one, pirates, they're already fighting the Navy, so they might as well take bounties right along with it. And 2, bounty hunters, they don't care who they're going after as long as they get their bounty. And so thinking about civilians, it makes sense. Some, they live good lives, specifically nobles, where they have money and they don't need to worry about anything. And there's also some who are poor, broke, starving, and are miserable. And this is why T-Bone died, because the people of a specific country, they were living a harsh lifestyle and they didn't want to live that anymore. So would going to Impel Down, would going to jail be better than the life that they're living? Probably so, because, well, they would have killed T-Bone any other way. So they had no choice, and this is why they did that. Now, how can the Navy, how can they work trying to protect the citizens from pirates if those same citizens are the ones that are going behind their back and trying to capture them, trying to take them out for the Cross Guilds bounty? This would be mentally exhausting and would bring the morale down on the Marines. And Tsuru, she was like, if this was his plan, that they've heavily underestimated them. And I think this was more Crocodile. Crocodile would do something scheming, conniving, cunning like this. What happens to the civilians that killed the Marine? Because let's be honest, they can't be considered normal civilians anymore. They'll have to become either pirates or bounty hunters. And this is shown in chapter 1082, where the one who killed T-Bone is now working under Buggy. Also, being under a Yonko crew, you know that you won't be messed with, because there's, you know, people on that crew, I guess you could say, even though they're not technically working under him, Mihawk, Crocodile, Buggy, and civilians who, if they indeed, for example, if they indeed did take down T-Bone in a one-on-one fight, not doing something like slipping something in their drink or something along those lines, they would boost the fighting strength of whatever pirate crew they work under. I want to talk a little bit about Buggy's influence, because he may not be the strongest, but he does have influence on the series. Cross Guilds, they build a ship and it has Buggy's face on it. Mihawk and Crocodile obviously did not like that ship, and they end up beating him, and we learned a little bit more about their objectives, where now that public awareness is growing, they will be taken as an organization more seriously by the Navy. They want to form a utopia showcasing overwhelming power, and they want wealth. That's pretty much all Cross Guilds is. Now Buggy, he didn't take this lightly, and he made his claim. Like I said, I'm making a Buggy video, I'll talk about that in the future. But this made me realize that, yo, Buggy got some clout. I'm gonna just call it how it is. He can say different things and people will follow him. His subordinates, if Buggy jumped off a cliff, they're jumping right along with him. And I don't think Mihawk and Crocodile don't have that persona, that charisma that people want to follow. They probably would more so do it out of fear of them, of fear of being beat. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, Mihawk, you know, and Crocodile, they could just beat Buggy and fight him, which is true, and some people might follow them out of fear, but at the same time, Buggy can gain the amount of allies that he wants just off of his personality alone, and that's why people follow them. And also, it's not guaranteed that those people, if Mihawk were to defeat Buggy or Crocodile were to defeat Buggy, that they would follow them immediately. They might challenge them and lose, and it'll just be a bunch of chaos. I do want to talk a little bit about potential people who could join Cross Guilds, because this is such a new organization. I wouldn't doubt it that more people would like to join. Think of like crewmates, you know, the more you sail, the more people want to join. I guess you could use the Straw Hats. And like I said, I do think more people would probably join. A very popular person a lot of people have talked about has been Doflamingo. He's a high probability because of the amount of connection that he has, probably besides Luffy, Shanks, and Crocodile. Mihawk, well, not Mihawk, Doflamingo, in terms of the underworld, he's known as the Joker, so everybody knows him and his connections. Now, will he break out of Impel Down, or will somebody break him out? That is, I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, right now the Navy's all scattered, so he probably could break out if he really wanted to, but somebody more likely than not will get him out of Impel Down. And also, another two people I think could join is Law and Kid, specifically because they were just defeated by Yonko, and they have to start from scratch pretty much because their ships are destroyed as well. They need stronger people with them, and I think it's more so Law would join the Kid, because Law, he doesn't really care about being the king of the pirates. He wants to learn about the history with the poneglyphs. But Kid, I'm a little bit worried about him because he wants to rule, wants to be the captain, wants to be king of the pirates essentially. I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool to invite them. Just quick thoughts about those people. There would probably be more that I didn't even think about. But yeah, man, Cross Guilds, it is one of, if not the most dangerous organization in One Piece because of the influence that it has. The Navy, the moment that it was formed, they're in a tight spot and they have to neutralize Cross Guilds immediately. It's really clever way to keep Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy into the story. And with the things that happened recently, how Cross Guilds might have effect even on different pirates going after the One Piece. I'll talk about that in a future video. I got a lot of future videos based off of this. And I also don't think that it would be surprising for other people to join, especially those who are, I guess, defeated pirates who want to return back to stardom. But those are just my thoughts about Cross Guilds. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok is on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.